Welcome to an episode of Into the Lab podcast, where sports analysts and experts dissect the latest news from the NBA and NFL, giving you a unique view on some of the hottest topics around your favorite teams. From the fresh field smells of the NFL to the hardwood courts of the NBA, and possibly your comfy couch for your fantasy football team. Let's see what kind of news the lab is working with today. Here's your host from the Sports Analytics headquarters in San Antonio, Texas, Ernest Silva.
Well, you know what? I look awfully happy in that picture in that video. So, yeah, that's a really good picture. Shout out Mark on the intro. I love it. Absolutely love it. It is a late night episode of iTL. We are live. We are hanging out at iTL Poke Protocol in full effect, as well as our sports scientist, Just Luke, in the house. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Just here to talk. So a little bit of football tonight. It was a weird weekend, man. No more college football. We're down to our last week of actual football next week. We don't talk about the Pro Bowl around here. All right. And by the way, the Ohio State University national champs won for the ages.
Yeah, nobody cares. And so, just kidding. Congratulations to you. I love your shirt or your jacket. Very flashy. I still am a firm believer the championship was won the week before the championship was played. Think anybody who won that game would have won the whole thing, but that's my personal opinion. Glad to have you, Luke. I'm glad to talk some shop. Today is all about our favorite sports teams. We poll all of you and find out where our major following is at. And we have a few teams: Dallas Cowboys, Houston Texans, Houston Rockets, the Texas Longhorns, and I think that's it. Those are the four topics for tonight. So we're going to talk some of those wonderful topics and then just give you our power rankings as NBA is in full effect entering the All-Star weekend. And we have tons of news for that. Of course, we start off everything with how you can join us. If you want to be a sports scientist, you want to come talk Pokemon, we would welcome anybody. Hashtag what's in your DNA. Doesn't matter what's in your DNA. You want to come have fun with us, join the Sport Gene, the sport branch of Blue Collar Media Group today. Of course, we are powered by Blue Collar Media Group. A shout out to Steve, the General Reisner. And Luke, I was talking with Mark. You coming down in February?
I was cordially invited, and I am trying to figure out if it's possible.
My man. Of course, if you don't know what we're talking about, you've been living under a rock. iTL Poke Program will be in full effect. King of the Hill, live King of the Hill, San Antonio, Texas, February 22nd. 23rd, yours truly will be one of the main people calling out scores. We'll have Tanner McCarter on another booth counting your scores. And of course, if Just Luke is there, you get to meet Just Luke in person. Already had one San Antonio trip, another one wouldn't hurt. And of course, Mark, it's rated Merc, will be there as well. Birthday month, Mark. Huge shout out to him. Birthday is tomorrow. Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
Love you, Mark. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. It's all about you, and then possibly seeing you next week. That would be wonderful to have you inside the studio and inside San Antonio, and hanging out. Of course, we don't hang out by ourselves here on ITL. We have Chris Connor with the Last Call podcast. What is going on, Chris Connor?
Not much. Been busy interviewing people, been Senior Bowls, finding out what's going on, hearing scuttlebutt, and glad to join you guys. And Luke, I've heard rumors. So I want your opinion. Would you want Jalen Milroe as a quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
No. No.
Always coming in here with something from left field. I like it, Chris Connor. I'm all about it.
Well, you had Wilson, and he didn't work out.
Yeah.
I don't think you want Justin Fields. So who does Just Luke want for the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I like Justin.
I like Justin. I think Kirk Cousins is in the mix. As much as everybody doesn't want that, or it's like salt in the wound for some reason, I really believe Kirk Cousins is probably being considered just because of Arthur Smith and his offense. It would not surprise me if we at least gave it a look on draft day.
Yeah, I'm completely aligned. I think Justin Fields is the future in Pittsburgh. And call me crazy. They were undefeated with him. I don't see why not. Right? What are you guys, 5-1? Something like that? I
Yeah.
mean, like maybe the one was a game he took over. All I know is that Ohio State's curse was broken with Justin Fields. Chicago was a terrible example of his play. I'd love to see him in Pittsburgh where they believe in him. And then CJ Stroud's proven the Ohio State curse is done. So I'm a firm believer on that. Before we get into shop though, Chris Connor, because you came in firing. We have to make an addition to the King of the Hill. We are just talking about it, right? We will be in San Antonio, Texas live February 22nd, 23rd. If you're not familiar with King of the Hill, this is how it works. We rip packs, your packs, and you will bring your own packs or you can buy packs with us, and then you count the HP on your cards. When you count the HP on your cards, you get a score. That score, highest score, takes home the elusive, the wonderful Moonbreon that everybody is chasing, a $3,000 card now. We have one raw. We have a PSA 9 that's now hitting 1,800 that may be the featured card for the day. And for the Expo in total, we have a Lugia Aquapolis that is also going to be raffled off. So very excited, very excited. But we add, in addition today, we have done Battle Styles a couple weeks in a row, so we're going to switch to Sword and Shield. Let's hope there is some luck in this pack. And as we go to that, we wish everybody luck. We have an iTL Hill being shipped to us. It's so exciting. I do have initial pictures, and I'm very excited over that. We have some card holders coming out with ITL and some of our favorite Pokemon. I mean, it's just getting hyped at this point. So the booth is going to look good. We'll have a live feed going the entire expo. And so if you are online, this expo you can actually buy from online and message over to us. And the caveat to that also, we have matching wristbands where you just tap and you can pay or find all of our instant pages right away. And it is going to be legit. So, Luke, it entices you more. You can be a part of the magic, be a part of everything. For the front on this Sword and Shield, I'm not going to show you every single card, or this would take forever, and the team is not Pokemon lovers. This comes out to be a reverse Cottony, so it is not a hit. So we actually get to open more than one pack today on tonight's stream. There's some hype, some love as we get some both. We appreciate the love for everybody that's on. I understand Twitter is down live streaming, so our Twitter is not going to be live for tonight, which is perfectly fine. Tonight's episode's just filler, and a couple of topics we're talking about tonight. It's going to be a quick one, and I appreciate all the love for everybody that's on already. So let's go ahead and see what this one's going to be. We do 4 to the front. And after you're checking us out, if you are big Pokemon fans, Erica, part of PokePlanet, if you're not part of PokePlanet, join that today. PokePlanet group, she is live right now doing some awesome box pulls. Go ahead and check her out right after us. All right, let's see what we got here. We're going to go to the hit, see if we've got anything good. We go into a reverse Rose raid. So we are not, or Roselia, so we are not hitting in the Sword and Shield. But like we said, we don't stop till what, Luke?
One more pack.
That's right. One more pack. One more pack. We're going all the way to this. That's 2 already. We're going into Chilling Rain. So Chilling Rain is the pack here. We are going to push it out. We are doing 4 to the front. Psychic Energy. And we are going to go straight to the hopeful hit on this. Another no. So Boon Sweet is the card there.
Man.
Rolling now. We are rolling now. Again, all bulk goes to the first King of the Hill contestant, so they will get this massive box of cards.
Yeah.
We were getting really lucky. We were hitting on the first pack.
Yeah, we were doing really good.
Nothing. They were getting nothing, and so now we hopefully get something special on one of these packs. Last Chilling Rain before we go back to Battle Styles and Electric Energy, and we go right into it. So Flaffy, Karen's Conviction, going to Wedding Gloves, Yamas, Snorunt, Boonsweet, Cubfu, Inkay, to a Rockruff and a Cresselia Hollow that is not going to be a hit. So we forward. That is 4.
Whoever gets this is going to be lucky.
Lots of bulk tonight. We'll just put that. You can't really see it, but
yeah,
we go diving into Battle Styles. So Battle Styles is back up on the clock. We have a few Battle Styles. I hope I don't have to walk away and get more packs. Like that's gonna be absolutely wild. After all the one hitters, we're getting back to the average here. Chris Connor's like, "What the hell are we doing?" So we'll get to it, Chris. Absolutely.
No, this is your jam. You are. You know what? I'm intrigued by this. It's like a lottery. We're like, all right, what's going to happen? Who's going to get the big thing here?
That's what we want. We want to hit, right? Houndour going into a Silicobra and nothing on this one. Reverse Hollow, Parachisu, and we are going to continue in here. So we have 5 packs now. on here. I don't know where to put this where we can see it. No, I'll just leave it on here. And we have a hill going. We have 4 more battle styles before I'm going to embarrassingly walk out and get more packs. So let's hope we have a hit in 9
So if we
packs.
have a hit, yeah.
This just goes to show you we've done 5 weeks where we get a hit on 1 or 2 packs. It's not a common thing. It is not the common thing for these things. Pokemon's absolutely been weird. And if you are a Pokemon fan, you've known you can't find anything at the store anymore. Like it
Nah.
is gone. It's Scalper City. We go into a green Leaf Energy, Tool Jammer, Morpeko, Level Ball, Mr. Mime, Spoink, Mawile, Cacnea, Corphish into, okay, we got a hit. Reverse Hollow Onyx and a Cricketune V. It's a small hit, but it will be part of the hill to start off. Cricketune V gets on the hill.
It's on the hill.
That is now 15 packs and 5 hits on the hill. And so the first contestant that goes to our booth will get all of that bulk, and then we'll get the first pack and a couple packs free. So we look forward to seeing a lot of you out there. We have more battle styles and other packs that we're going to be hitting leading up 3 weeks away, guys. We are 3 weeks away from ITL Poke Protocol and the Shrine Auditorium event. We appreciate everybody that joins us. We appreciate everybody as part of the magic. Again, Cricketune V is the hit. And if you were on the stream earlier tonight, the Rapid Strike Urishifu V was the other hit. Love that fighting guy. And so both those hits will be put into the hill. Excited to see you guys out there. And hopefully we see a whole bunch of you, as that was a 1-pack hit earlier tonight during our waffles. All right. With that being said, round number 2 is news and notes from your favorite teams. We're going to start things off with this round being all about your teams. We heard you, Texas, Houston, Dallas, and the Rockets. We're going to talk about all of them tonight. I already went on Chris Connor's show. If you haven't seen the Last Call podcast from this week, I was on there with him this week, and we talked shop on the Cowboys and the Texans. Go listen to that. It released today, Chris. Is that correct?
Yeah, we released it this morning, and just as we released it, Cowboys, you guys have a new head offensive coordinator, so I want to pick your brain on that. It's now Clayton Adams, Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator.
Why don't we jump right into Cowboys first? It wasn't the first topic, but before we jump into it, we are powered by USAA, advocates for USAA. We know what it means to serve. We appreciate all of the members and military members that watch and listen to our show. We appreciate USAA as being an advocate partner. The Dallas Cowboys believe in Schottenheimer and Eberflus, and this is an interesting belief system here. Chris Connor, I am biased, obviously, so let's start off with the unequivocally unbiased third party. What do you think of the hirings, and where do you think Dallas is moving
to? I'm sorry, I hate this. And look, I usually like to give coaches a chance. What is Schottenheimer? He's not the young, hot prospect everybody talks about. He's not the grizzled, experienced coach. He's not even a former player. He's, an offensive coordinator. Never called plays. I guess Dak likes him, as you said, which is great. But I don't know. I mean, it feels like, all right, Jerry has a guy that he basically will be like a yes man, do whatever he wants, and as you said, it looks almost like at some point people are praying, that Jerry steps aside. But go to Hollywood, Jerry. Jerry, you were great in Landman. I loved your performance. You can do that to Hollywood. Just Cowboys fans want you gone. They love you, Jerry, but it's time to go.
I do think most Cowboys fans are tired of him. I'm going to give my opinion in just a second, though. Luke, your thoughts on the Cowboys with not only Schottenheimer, Eberflus, but also Clayton Adams. What's up, Tyler? Luke, your thought on the Cowboys?
I was about to say my internet cut out. If you're waiting on me, that's my bad.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, go ahead. Your thought on the Cowboys?
Reuse, recycle. I don't know what these two guys have really proven in the NFL to say that these were the right 2 men for the job. Especially Eberflus. That team was a disaster for 5 years, and they gave you 5 years of excuses to not get fired, and then finally they decided to let you go. That was shocking to me. And the Schottenheimer thing, man, it didn't really surprise me because Jerry loves being Jerry. He wants to be in the news. He wants to be in the newspapers. He wants to be talked about on radio. And then at the end of the day, he goes with the safe pick. It's the same thing that happened when they were looking for a head coach and they hired Mike McCarthy. They had all the flashy picks. They had all the interviews. And here we go. We'll go with safe Mike McCarthy. And then now they fire Mike. Well, they don't fire him. They mutually decided to let each other go, which, okay, that's whatever. The safe pick was Brian Schottenheimer. It's the safe pick. No, we're gonna go interview. We're gonna try to pull Bill away. We're gonna try to talk to Dion. We're gonna try this. We're gonna try that. And then you go with the safest pick, a guy already on your staff, Brian Schottenheimer. And you could tell in that interview, well, not interview, but the day that they announced Schottenheimer, that no one cared for the Joneses that day. No one cared for the Joneses. They applauded Brian Schottenheimer, which he does deserve to be applauded. That is a huge gift for Brian Schottenheimer to be as mediocre as the Dallas Cowboys have been over the last 5 to 6 years. It's a huge thing for him. It's still the Dallas Cowboys. That's still one of the mainstay names of the NFL. And to be one of the head coaches in Dallas is a huge deal. But at the end of the day, it's not flashy. It's not. I don't like it. But it remains to be seen if they give him as long as a leash as they did with Mike McCarthy. Jerry's not young, and I don't know if he's got 5 more years of waiting for a Super Bowl. But they were not a Brian Schottenheimer away from a Super Bowl. So we'll see. I personally didn't like either one of them.
Yeah, might be a little harsh on the liking for me. I'm going to say right now, I mentioned on Chris Connor's podcast that definitely not a popular pick. This is not sexy, right? This is not Dallas Cowboy America's team coaching. This is not Mike McCarthy. Hey, there's a reason he's a Super Bowl champion. This is Dallas digging back to their roots. And I want to say that for a number of reasons. Number one, Brian Schottenheimer, his mantra is quarterbacks, right? Like his life is quarterback coaching and offensive coordinator. So the fact that he wasn't given the reins on offensive play calling for a very long time, especially coming back to Dallas, I think that is going to be why he gets the reins now. And he probably showed just this 40 slide PowerPoint, and Jerry loves PowerPoints and went with it. And to me, the Dallas Cowboys actually have this connection. Oppenheimer is great. Yeah, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. It's a long ass movie though. And Schottenheimer to me is the good old boy pick, somebody who is right there with Jerry, lockstep, and Stephen Jones. The Jones have Schottenheimer, and Dak Prescott loves him. So if you're going to go full on Dak, Schottenheimer's the pick. Matt Eberflus was a linebacker coach for Dallas. A lot of people forget that. So you're talking about Dallas going back to his roots, right? And the one thing we miss with Dallas has an opportunity at the linebacker position, and they have a bona fide stud in Micah Parsons that plays a hybrid of it. And so if you're going to bring back a linebacker wisp, bring back somebody who can address that, then it makes sense, because then that means Dallas feels they are one position set away from being sturdy at the defensive side of the ball. Then you look at this Clayton Adams pickup, and what is the one thing Dallas was harped on from last season of not shoring up whatsoever? The running back position, right? And Clayton Adams is known to be a running guru. So what Dallas is doing is they are digging into all of the opportunities that they had, and finally listening to probably most of their coaching analysts saying, this is the pick, this is why we're doing it, and these may be Stephen Jones picks. I don't know if these are Jerry guys. Honestly, Jerry probably wanted to go after Nick Saban. He probably wanted to go after these flashy coordinators and flashy names. These feel different, and why we don't get it. And so from a numbers perspective, it makes sense, which would be very Stephen Jones and not Dallas Cowboy-like. And from a draft perspective, if this draft goes very different and they draft for the opportunities and they draft what they need, this may be Stephen Jones calling the shots now. And that is optimism for Cowboys fans. But Dallas will Dallas, and Dallas will always be Dallas as long as Jerry's around. So Cowboy fans, buckle up and get ready, because if he doesn't like something, he's gonna take it right back over. You just gotta hope that Steven may be making the call on this. Chris Connor, you started the discussion, so I'll let you have 30 seconds to rebuttal on anything.
Yeah, I don't. Here's the problem. I remember Albert Breer has been talking about this. The last time they had a big name coach like Nick Saban or even Bill Belichick, who we talked about, was Bill Parcells. And while he built a great job, he built the program back up, he helped sell tickets. Jerry was miserable. I mean, it was reported that he did not like it because Jerry likes to be in the locker room. Jerry likes to be on the sidelines. He likes to talk to the media. I don't think this to me is a Jerry pick because I don't think Jerry could do, a selling point to Nick Saban because Nick would go, I want total control. You have to be. I can't have the players run up to you every time there's problems. I want to pick my own GM. I want you out of a locker room. I don't want to have distractions. And Jerry's not going to do that. That's why Bill, didn't want, wasn't picked because Bill wants the same thing: total control. No players running up to you. No back stairs complaining to the owner. Owners in the locker room. I mean, if you want a big name coach, nowadays they want control, and Jerry just doesn't want to give it up.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Dallas Cowboys are a known away from making any noise. I think as long as it's Jerry's world and Jerry's in the picture, they're just going to basically stumble over their own feet. So I'm really hoping Stephen Jones makes that choice. And let's talk about a different Texas team that has a different question mark. And I really want to focus on the offensive coordinator position, right? Where are the next steps for the Houston Texans? They've interviewed a slew of candidates. We talked a little bit about this on your show, Chris Connor. Just Luke, where do you believe Houston should be aiming at to take over the offensive coordinator position now that Slowick is gone?
I was hoping for a Kubiak return. Obviously, it's not the right Kubiak, but it wouldn't have been a bad idea. But he got hired away to the Seahawks, so that's out of the question. So no Bobby Slowick, no Clint Kubiak. I've got a list of interviews requested and who they have interviewed so far. And man, it doesn't look great at this point. At least from my perspective. Nick Caley, tight ends coach from the Rams. Don't know, honestly. Couldn't tell him from Adam. Brian Johnson from the Commanders. Cool. Jared Johnson. He is the quarterback's coach already there, so I understand that one. Chip Kelly is kind of surprising, but I don't think Chip wants to come to the NFL. He's done it. Now he's got success with Ohio State, and let's be honest, Chip is not a young pup anymore. Gone are the days of the fast Oregon offense. Like that was 10, 15, 18 years ago now. Like it's not that time. It's been a very long time since those days with Chip Kelly. I don't think he wants another NFL return. Thad Lewis, that's probably not a good one. Jeff Nixon from Syracuse, don't like it. Grant Udinski from the Vikings, don't really like it either. Honestly, I don't know where they go. And it's tough. It's a tough decision, but what it comes down to also is if you're the head coach, CJ Stroud is 150% involved in the next pick of his offensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah.
Do not turn this into a Bears situation. They have fumbled first-round quarterbacks for the last near century, it feels like. Okay, so CJ Stroud is the first person in the room, first question, last question, and he gets final say on who his coordinator will be.
I completely agree. I know you said Nick Nick Caley was not a favorite for you, or you weren't sure.
I
Chris
don't know
Connor,
him personally. I don't.
Chris Connor, where are you sitting on the Texans offensive coordinator?
So here are the candidates so far. They've interviewed. It's been Bill Lazor, Jared Johnson are the in-house candidates. Nick Caley, who comes from as we said, the Rams, San Francisco 49ers, the tight pants group. You've got Thad Lewis, and now there's an interesting one, Adam Stenovich, who was the run game coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. Personally, I think I'd go with Thad Lewis or Stenovich, just somebody who at least can go, look, we played in the league. We've dealt with, we played in big time college. They at least can, because I think that was the problem with Slow, because he's sort of a guy you look and go, okay, you never played in the league. And I think with a lot of players now, if you have, credibility, if you are a player, they can look and go, all right, well, I'll listen to you. I'll respect you. And as I said, we don't know exactly what happened with CJ Stroud. But right now, I just go with Lewis. He played quarterback. He understands quarterbacks. He's, played in the NFL. He's coached, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so he knows how to work a guy like Baker Mayfield as a quarterback's coach and wide receivers coach. He might be the best fit so far.
I personally, am a huge fan of Nick Caley. So let me kind of give you a little bit of his background. So he is the passing game coordinator, right? And he's had experience working with Matthew Stafford. So you've got to enjoy that. And he comes from the Patriots system, which Chris Connor, you should know him a little bit from, coming from New England and working as a coaching analyst there for a while. But he's got his Bill Belichick days on him. He's got to work with the Rams innovative coaching staff for a few years. So here with Sean McVay. So now you get him coming over to Houston, and you get a weapon like CJ Stroud and the foundation of hopefully Diggs, Mixon, Tank Dell, and the rest of the group there that makes him work. The tight ends are fantastic, right? With Dalton Schultz. So and Nico Collins. Sorry, Collins' name was escaped me for some reason. So like that to me, you can be so dynamic and you can do so much with that innovative thought. And I that's why I say when I come from 2.0, Nick Caley's that guy. But if you're gonna stick with safe, to me it's Thad Lewis or Gerald Johnson, right? Like you're gonna go as a quarterback coach, somebody who's been in the system, similar to the Cowboys, somebody that was part of the roots of the Texans when they were not fantastic, right? So that would be my personal thought is to either go in with your roots, homegrown, or take the shot with an innovative offensive coordinator who's going to get their first time at it, just like Slowick did. And you took a chance and gamble, and your offense was pretty good, right? You just didn't see eye to eye. 30-second rebuttal. Luke.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And I think one of the tempting things is not even that it's CJ Stroud, but that division is one of the worst divisions in football. You can go 9-8, 9-8, 10-7, 11. You can have. I'm not saying a horseshit record, but you have some room for how do I want to say it? Like you have room for growing pains in that division. We'll say that. So if that is what you're trying to aim for, I mean, winning that division at 9-8 gets you a seat in the playoffs, and a home game already. So that's not the way you want to think, obviously. But at the other hand, if you start out 1-2, 1-3, and you start rattling off some games, it's not bad. So, but yeah, that division is not great. So that's another thing to really look at, to really dig your teeth into.
Yep. No, I completely agree. The Texans, very interesting situation for both Texas teams. And if you are a fan of the game, it's a good reset, right? There's going to be one winner every year. You're already in your offseason. You're making the choices. Lions coordinators may be safe right now. I have not a ton of room over there from coming to Texas. I know there was a lot of interest from both teams going after Lions coordinators. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. But we pivot to where I'm going to lead off on the conversation. Arch Manning signs a major deal and has a major interview during this offseason. And he quotes, "I wanted to bring Texas back" in his interview. So Texas is back. They've had 2 semifinal appearances. There he is. And Texas is going to move forward um, with Arch Manning, and that's going to be the guy, right? Well, we expect a ton of transfers and a ton of upcoming signings for Arch Manning. But we were just talking about this, just Luke. Like, he is a junior. Like,
Yeah.
there is going to be 2 classes that get to benefit from Arch Manning, and then he moves on. He believes he is the guy and he can lead this team to a championship. And apparently he's got the wings to do it now. Red Bull gives you wings, right? 6.6 to be exact, $1 million contract deal with Red Bull as he films his productions. Part of the interview was showcasing some of his film sessions that he's had with Red Bull. You saw him in the Red Bull uniform. Congrats to him, right?
Yeah.
He's going to reap off the name.
Yeah.
I do think there's talent there. There are a lot of pessimists saying that if he was that good, he would be able to already be doing it, right? I don't believe that. I think he waited his turn, and it was just Quinn Ewers' team, and so Quinn will move on. I am a big fan of him taking the reins. He's showing up to sporting events. He's showing up to interviews. He's doing everything it is as Star would do in the SEC. I think it's Arch Manning season next season. Texas will be on their way to a natty soon. Chris Connor, are you as optimistic as I am?
Cautiously optimistic. Look, here's the big question: Is Arch Manning any good? And when I mean any good, like, okay, yes, he looks great against Louisiana Monroe. Looks fantastic against the University of Texas, San Antonio. It's that we knew he was. What happens now when he starts taking on, the teeth of the SEC? When next year it's looky here, the schedule is going to be full of Florida, Oklahoma, at Mississippi State, at Georgia, Arkansas, at Ohio State, kicking off a season. I mean, as I said, look, he looks the part. He has good mechanics. He's athletic. Just let's pump the brakes here, people. This is not going to be, him in the Notre Dame schedule where he gets to slap around, 8 or 9 little cupcakes, maybe get 2 tough opponents and walk into the playoffs. This is the SEC, and by the way, Ohio State opening game. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, I don't want to poo-poo on some of these teams. Some of the defenses are top 30 in the country. Like UTSA was a top 30 defense that he's faced. And so I do want to say some of those teams were good. He did show up, right? And it was the choice of Sark not to put him in certain situations, but I don't think it was because they didn't trust him, or he could have actually run the option if he really wanted to. He's so fast. I think it's why tip your hand when you want to keep yours with the consistency. But Luke, what is your take on Arch Manning?
I want to put this into context. Okay, this is the new era of deals. His uncle Peyton, when he signed back in 1999 for the Indianapolis Colts, his base salary was $7.7 million, and Arch is going to make that on one deal this year. He's going to make $6.6 million on one deal this year. Just let that sink in, okay? And that is why these kids are staying around as long as they can. At least that's the feeling that I have for the future, that why risk your neck in the first year and sit the bench when you can make more than an NFL's base salary from a second to all the way to a 7th round pick. So anyway, that's my spiel on that. So the Mannings have never been known to cause drama, right? That's just not the way they are. You can bring up the Eli to the Giants and Chargers situations, I get, okay, but that's cool. But this is just a completely different thing. I believe Arch. I've seen some Texas games with Arch in. and that offense clicks when he's in. They wanted to push Quinn Ewers. I don't know if it's if it was a pride thing with Sark or what it was. He believed that Quinn gave him the best option to win the last 2 years. I wasn't a Quinn believer when he was at Ohio State. So when he transferred to Texas, I said good riddance. That team has the boosters now. They have the confidence in Sark. He knows that they can at least get to a semifinal game. This year it just wasn't their. It just wasn't their game this year, it wasn't. I feel like they were gambling a lot, especially in those first 2 games. They played fuck around and find out, but they lucked out and they got 2 wins, and I applaud them for that. But when it came down to chest match, they just couldn't match up. And it wasn't like a complete domination for Ohio State. It was the key moments, and that comes down to coaching, and that comes down to experience. And I don't think Arch fitted at the time the experience needed in those situations, and Quinn did. And that's really what it comes down to. I understand that the play calling in that last scenario was probably Sark's 4 worst calls or 3 worst calls for the year. Were probably down on the goal line before Jack Sawyer sacked him. And I understand that. Texas will always be relevant, especially nowadays with the money the way it is. There's no reason for them not to be relevant and have good picks to come in. So I say all that to say is I do believe in Arch. I believe in that Texas can win a national title in a 12-team playoff. The SEC is not what it used to be. I don't care what anybody says. You can't prove to me otherwise that the SEC is still strong. Alabama is down. LSU is down. You don't know which Texas A&M team shows up. Florida is an absolute disaster, even though this year they had the toughest schedule in probably college football history. But the SEC is not some slobber knocker anymore. Now Ole Miss is losing Jackson Dart and pretty much their entire offense. I can go on with the SEC. It is still a good conference, don't get me wrong, but it's time that Sark really digs in and says, all right, we had them. We were on the goal line, and we were 3 terrible play calls away from being in a national title game against Ohio State, who arguably up to that point had walked through the playoffs, and then obviously walked to a national title against Notre Dame. So really that game for Ohio State, Texas is the national title game. So they really needed to figure out and sit down and understand, now this is Arch's time. We're putting everything in the basket. Arch, this is what you have. We got to get it figured out.
Yeah, I think it's all over the place. My last 30 seconds on this is that Texas is going to have to replace a lot of talent. They're going to have a lot of turnover, a lot of seniors. Probably will have a lot of transfers after this season. So it's going to be interesting at the very least to see what they are going to do going forward. But I am intrigued. So Texas is back. We shall see. But for all of you Texas fans, you know what I'm going to play.
Give me a hell yeah!
It is Arch Manning time. That is exciting, guys. We are going to switch to what we have not talked about in a very long time, and that is some basketball. And I'm excited. Let's talk some hoops, and let's talk about what the power rankings look like. All right. So we're going to start with the East. We're very West-driven. Lots of Mavericks, Spurs, Rockets fans in our chats. Lots of debates and lots of hatred. But let's talk about the East. In the East, current state of affairs, the Celtics run the kingdom right now in the East. However, the Cleveland Cavaliers have had one hell of a season. They have been phenomenal this year. They have been very tough to beat. Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland are two guards that have been playing at all-star caliber levels, and then the additions of Evan Mobley progressing and Jared Allen being a staple down low. The Cleveland Cavaliers have been fantastic, and the rotations can shoot. I think they've shot the lid off every single building they've been in this year. So I have nothing but high things to sing about the Cavs. Celtics are Celtics, right? Porzingis having a year, very loved with the whole Wemby effect. Anything tall that can shoot has had just major love for their teams. So the Chets of the world, Donatis, you have Alperen Sengun in Houston. Everybody's just getting love. Even Gafford in Dallas is getting love. Like, it's just been crazy. Porzingis is all over the place. I think there still is some Brown Tatum friction there. You watch the game, it looked like they're playing side by side, but not really together. Chris Connor can tell me a little bit if he feels the same way about that. And then you have the New York Knicks is probably a top 3 team right now in the East. You would say Brunson and team have been pretty phenomenal. The addition of Cats added a different dynamic for New York, and they've slowly crept up the power ranking standing. So for me, without talking about some obvious people, my top 5 in the East are Celtics, Cavs, Knicks, Bucks, Pacers in that order. The Bucks did just get their butt beaten by San Antonio today, but we'll talk out my top 5, and then I'll see if maybe your top 5 differs. Chris Connor, how do you see the East right now?
Cleveland's number 1. They have a number 1 seed, so I give them credit. They're actually playing hard. Celtics, number 2, but it's just, what is it? What's the old saying? The more you F around, the more you learn what you are. That's what the Celtics are. They almost feels like, oh yeah, well, we won a championship. We'll just turn on, during the playoffs. We're playing bored. We're not really trying. I mean,
I've got you with that.
Really are pissing me off. It's just.
I've got you with that sound. Don't worry.
As you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
There you go.
New York's a tick behind them, and then it's Milwaukee and Indiana. It's the East is not that great. I mean, you could have a team like Chicago get hot, and all of a sudden they'll be in the 4th spot. So this is, I don't even know what to tell you. The East is it's Cleveland, Boston, then New York, then Milwaukee, Indiana, and everybody else.
I'm pretty aligned with that. If the Heat weren't having Jimmy Butler problems, the Heat probably would be a 3 in the top 3. They're talented enough. Tyler Herro has been playing fantastic this year. Just Luke, what are your thoughts on the East?
I'm gonna say to only be losing 9 games and you're at the All-Star break is kind of crazy, especially for a Cleveland team that. Once LeBron left, it was absolute shambles for a couple years there. They've slowly started to add pieces over the last couple years. I would say the cause for concern right now, they're 9-5 this past month or so, and their defense has fallen to 26th. And they're still 38-9, which I get. That's awesome. But that's a huge call for concern. Okay. I understand it's a very long season. They need rest. Everybody needs rest at this point. But dropping that significantly to almost one of the worst defenses in the league is a very concerning stat line to me. Besides that, I'm not going to say too much else. I've been focused on the Cavaliers because they're my closest team. So,
I get that.
So besides that, I got nothing else.
Yeah, no, I think the East is a very interesting dynamic. The play-in team, I think, is 20-28 down at the bottom, which is just wild. I think
everybody makes the playoffs. Everybody makes the playoffs.
Yeah. I think the West is the bigger conversation. So let's go to the West, right? In the West, you have 10 very good teams. The 10 seed in the West is 24-23 in the Sacramento Kings. I mean, the West is again stacked. And for me, the power rankings go Thunder, Rockets, Nuggets, Clippers, Grizzlies in that order. And the reason I have them in that order, is that the Thunder are just a powerhouse. To me, the Thunder are the team to beat. If they remain healthy, I don't think anybody beats them. I think the Thunder will win it this year. The Rockets, we're going to talk a lot about the Rockets tonight. At least I'm going to rant about it a little bit and rave. But the Rockets have been the surging hot topic for the last few weeks. Nuggets have the MVP, the multi MVP, and I love those. I love those Rockets. Love it, love it, love it. And the Clippers have surged as of late. The Clippers have been playing fantastic basketball. James Harden and Kawhi Leonard on the court together have been great. I saw a picture the other day of Chris Paul and Kawhi Leonard standing next to each other. Chris Paul in a San Antonio jersey, Kawhi Leonard in a Clippers jersey. I thought, what world is this? What reality is this? So very wild. And then the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies outside the Rockets are the most talked about team as well coming up. Team has played great with Ja. They play great without Ja. It's a scrappy team. Rockets Grizzlies game from yesterday was phenomenal. It was a great game. And if you didn't watch it, I would go back and watch it. Just a lot of players out, but very much back and forth. And you just see why the teams are so coveted at 2 and 3 in the West. And so that's my West take. Luke, any thoughts on the West?
No, I don't have any thoughts. I did see a Rockets game this year and a San Antonio Spurs game this year.
When did you go see that?
Oh, sometime in October. I did do that though, so that's cool.
I did enjoy that. That was a lot of fun.
But I will say about the Grizz, like I'll tell you, this team has always been scrappy, especially when Ja has been around. And that's just a team. When you get them in a playoff, you don't want to mess around in the first 2 games. Like, if you want to put them out, you got to put them out. You can't be messing around with them and letting them come back or anything. Like, you have to put them down when you have them down. So, I mean, I like it. I like the Grizz. I think that's probably the closest Western Conference team, probably, to me, I would think. But yeah, that's about it.
Yep. Yeah, I completely get it. Chris Connor, any thoughts on the West?
Well, I gotta give the Rockets credit. They're ahead of schedule. It's now them and Oklahoma City are 2 favorites. Memphis is right up there. Then you get Denver, and I just have a bad feeling about the Lakers. LeBron wants another ring. He's going to use connections. Next thing you know, we'll get Fox from Sacramento get to the Lakers. I don't know how. There's a bad feeling. And next thing you know, Lakers will be in the finals against Houston. And all of a sudden, referees are going to just swallow whistles here and there. I mean, I have Borat complains about the Chiefs and getting calls. Oh, there'll be just calls of the yin yang and favorites when the Lakers play with LeBron is maybe one of his final years. So yeah, that's my worry that the Lakers are going to catch hot and oh God, they might actually go to the NBA Finals. Ugh.
Yeah, the Lakers seem to make a run, and for some reason, it seems like they're really kind of just like the Celtics, taking a back burner, right, and just going to ride through the season. We're already halfway through. It's kind of nuts that we're already halfway through the NBA season. But I was requested to talk about the Rockets and why they're surging so much. So I do have our final segment being almost just a 5-minute, probably analysis by me rant on the Rockets and why. And I first want to caveat that the foundation of the Houston Rockets is important to start off with. The foundation of the Rockets is point guard Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, Cam Whitmore, Steven Adams, and Jayshawn Tate for a number of reasons. He brought in the veterans to increase the odds of the young core to get better. And Houston put all their eggs in the basket as to why they're going to get better and better is because of the experience offered from these individuals. People forget FEV is a championship player. He played with Kawhi Leonard in Toronto. He's done it. Dylan Brooks is a typical 3-and-D player. He wasn't really known for the 3 until this year. And so then you have him come out and been shooting skyrocket efficiency from the 3-point line. And Cam Whitmore is just a bucket off the bench. And so you have Cam Whitmore making noise and being a part of that foundation rotation. And a lot of people put them in the young core of Houston as well. To me, as an established scorer, he's being used as a role player for his efforts. And that's just kind of where he sits right now. Steven Adams and Jayshawn Tate offer some veteran presence that Houston has desperately needed. Steven Adams, especially in the pick and roll game, and Jayshawn Tate being one of the longest tenured Rockets on this team, who was through the Steven Silas era, who has ridden through the bad parts of a 3-year just nasty drought for Houston after James Harden left. That's it. More importantly than that, though, the emerging stars of Tari Eason and Jabari Smith, one half of the Terror Twins, and Jabari Smith's ability to spread the floor and shoot the three more efficiently has brought Houston to new heights. One of the best 5 offenses that they have don't include Jabari Smith, but when Jabari Smith is on the floor, Alperen Sengun and him present a height presence, and they are able to spread the floor and not let other teams play bigs. And that's what gives them an advantage. So Jabari Smith and his prowess on defense, getting up to a new level, has certainly helped. Tari Eason is a ball hawk. The man does everything. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to be one of the most efficient 6-mans aside from Amen Thompson if he doesn't start going forward. He'll be one of the most efficient 6-men going forward, and he's just a defensive prowess. Wherever the ball is, Tari Eason is. The biggest piece to this are the jumps of the 3 stars of the Houston Rockets, which is Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun, and Amen Thompson. Alperen Sengun, obviously an all-star, so I'm going to put him in the star category, but no, he is an all-star. Got to his first all-star, just made that announcement yesterday. And Amen Thompson is what everybody is talking about right now. The Thompson twins have been playing phenomenal basketball this year. Their middle name is literally Excellence. You can look that up. And they have the same middle name, by the way. And their mother said that they would just be excellent, and they are. And Amen Thompson is very smart. He's talented. He's quick. He might be the fastest player in the NBA. He's the fastest player with a basketball in the NBA. I can definitely show you the stats for that. And he just had 4 blocks and 12 rebounds against the Memphis Grizzlies on a team that has multiple 7-footers and plays physical basketball. I mean, the man is just everywhere. He is a bona fide star. Everybody is saying it. I think Amen Thompson is here, and he's made the leap. More importantly, Jalen Green is not as streaky as he has been in years past. He's had a solid 82-game rotated season, meaning from the end of last year to beginning of this year, this streak has continued, and he has not dropped off. He's averaging just this month 25 points per game. He's doing it efficiently, and the biggest piece of this is he's playing defense. And if you can have 3 two-way players, the reason they beat the Celtics is because each of these guys scored 20 points. Each of these guys had multiple double-digit areas across from it, and these were your stars for that game. They beat the Cavs twice in the Celtics, and they lost by 1 point to the Grizzlies. The Rockets are here, and they have the best win percentage against the top 8 teams in the league. I believe it was 17-9. So they are beating good teams. So the Rockets don't only beat up the bad ones, they beat up the good ones, and that is your Houston Rockets. I will leave a couple seconds for both my compadres here to add anything. I'm getting a head shake. Chris Connor, do you want to add anything to the Rockets?
Yes. You know what? I was thinking about this here because I have a big trade. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about it all week long, and you want to get past Oklahoma City. It's time to go bold. Big trade. So I've added the numbers and everything here. Before you laugh, I think it can actually work. Jabari Smith, Amen Thompson, Steven Adams. You trade to San Antonio, Victor Wembanyama, Harrison Barnes. I'm calling it right now. Big swinging move. Ernest, you laugh, but you know what? You have the pieces now. You want that star. Victor's that star. You need to get rid of, overcome Chet Holmgren. He can do that. This is the time.
This is not the time. Victor Wembanyama will never be a Rocket. There's 2 reasons why. Number one, he laughed and fist pumped that he did not go to Houston. Houston will never accept Wemby. Okay. Also, he grew up a Spurs fan, so he hates Houston. The second thing is that the Rockets have a star center. They are invested in him. Alperen Sengun is the guy. What they do have is the future of Phoenix at their hands. And with Phoenix at the bottom part of the West and still dangling in front of them, hey, you can let this go and we will take Kevin Durant off your hands. We will take Devin Booker off your hands. You can get all your future back. It's all yours. That is the chess move Houston wants to play. Now, if Houston doesn't want to get involved with Phoenix, they could dangle those to somebody else and say, you go dangle them in front of Phoenix. And that's where the De'Aaron Fox conversation comes into play. Does Sacramento want Phoenix's future? And Houston gets a star guard back that's proven to play alongside this core. And those are the trades I think they're going to go after. Wemby, that's 2K. That's 2K talk, Chris Connor. Nobody wants Wemby in Houston. You can keep him
You
San
say
Antonio.
that, but you know what? The
I
Yankees
don't want him.
signed Johnny Damon.
We're not the
Anything can
Yankees.
happen in sports.
You know who wins championships in Houston? Homegrown players. Just ask the Astros. Homegrown players. Hakeem Olajuwon, homegrown player. The Houston sports lives off of homegrown players.
Was Clyde Drexler a homegrown player?
He played Phi Slamma Jam at U of H. Yes, homegrown player. They were teammates in college. That's how they knew each other. That's why they wanted to play together. Homegrown player. Yep. That you can't out Houston me. That's one thing you can't do with me on this show. But other things you can do to me is show me why Houston Boston wouldn't be the best Ime Udoka Joe Mazzulla matchup this year. Like Boston will probably repeat if that was the case because I think they outclass Houston. But that would be a wonderful, wonderful finals for me personally. And Davis would hate it. So it'd make me feel even better. That's our show tonight, guys. Thank you so much for being with us. 15 minutes turned into an hour, and we appreciate you. Chris Connor, tell the people where they can find you again.
You can check me out at thelastcallpodcast.com. Also on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Check us out this Sunday. We'll be dropping an interview we just did with Nino Brown of College Football Nation as he talks Senior Bowl prospects, who's going up, who's going down, the quarterbacks, and what he's hearing around the league from some of the big teams. And if you check it out right now, Ernest Silva and I talk Cowboys, talk Texans. And Ernest, always a pleasure. And thank you for inviting me on the show one more, as always.
No, thank you so much for coming on, Chris Connor. You are a welcome sports scientist on this show. Also joining us tonight, Just Luke. Just tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at King of Hearts 82 and on Twitch at King of Hearts 82. I want to say a few things, Ernest, if I have some time here. One, I haven't watched WWE annually probably since I was a kid, right? But tomorrow's the Royal Rumble, and I always watch the Royal Rumble no matter what. So if you catch me tomorrow, live tweeting the Royal Rumble, that is probably what I will be doing tomorrow. And number two, if you have some time tonight, I know it's late on the East Coast, but I want you to really sit and think about where our country is right now with another plane crash, the West Coast burning, and the entire, Florida had 8 inches of snow. I really want you to think about your family and your loved ones tonight. This latest crash, we have no idea what happened in Philadelphia. After seeing some of the videos, it's quite shocking. So really just love your loved ones tonight. And really, if you believe in the power of prayer, please pray tonight for what is happening to these families. It's devastating. It really is. It kind of chokes me up a little bit. There was, in the most recent DC crash I saw today, that a brother and a sister both passed away along with their parents. So an entire family gone in the matter of seconds. So really, really dig deep, especially over the next few weeks, until we get some answers of what's going on. But hug your loved ones for real, guys. It's not every day is accounted for. You have to go out and earn every single day when you wake up. So thanks, Ernest. I really appreciate it. And Super Bowl next week. Stay tuned.
Yeah, thank you so much, Just Luke, with the awesome words as always, and we appreciate that, Just Luke. I want to ditto the sentiments, right? ITL, Poke Protocol, and ITL, we may be on different platforms starting season 7. I just don't know where we're going to be this year. But it's a good time to really focus on what's important, which is being with family, being a part of organizations that make you feel like you're part of the mission and whole. And Luke and I both found places like that where we work and what we do here. And this is family. And remember what you're doing and why you do it. And remember your mission, right? Be proud of what you do. But our hearts and our condolences are all out to everybody who's suffering from the airplane accident that happened. We do now know that it almost happened 2 nights in a row. The night before, they had to have a swerve action happening, so who knows what's happening with that comptroller, but, we really appreciate all you joining us tonight. We fluctuated between 20 to 40 people at a given time, so we love all you. We thank you guys for the support. We know we haven't been super podcast releasing heavy, but we know our live show has been great with everybody, and so thank you guys for the support. Thank you for the love, and we welcome the Pokemon, NFL, and NBA community any day, any weeknight. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys live soon, and we'll see you guys next week to talk some Super Bowl. Peace out, guys.